Hello guys and welcome back to Josh Must Win, and today we are going to be talking about the finale. That is right guys, we are at the finale, and honestly it was a lot more tense than I thought it would be. It was definitely interesting to watch. I think it did have a slightly predictable outcome, but then again, I don't know what I was expecting from this show because, I mean, the title is literally Josh Must Win, and quite literally, Josh did win. So, yeah, sorry for the spoiler alert. I'm sorry. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? Anyway, so the episode was fun to watch. I feel like I said in the previous episode, the more this series has gone on, the less I've enjoyed watching it. Or I don't even know if it's the less I've enjoyed watching it, but the less I've enjoyed making these videos. Because there's not actually that much to talk about when you think about it. Like, they don't actually talk to each other. Or they do, but like we don't see it on screen. So a lot of like what I do with like Celebrity Big Brother, or I don't know what series do I do? Maths, The Apprentice is all about like them talking to each other, whereas we don't really get to see that. It's just a lot of the celebrities game planning. But anyway, before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you guys. As of today recording, which is the 11th of April, I don't know when this video is going to go out, but as of today, we have reached 800 subscribers, guys. Big claps, big claps, big claps, because we're ever so close to 100 subscribers. We're less than 200, 1,000 subscribers. We are less than 200 away, which is absolutely crazy. Not in a million years that I think I'd be reaching these kind of levels. So make sure you are keeping on subscribing, keeping on hitting that like button. Let's get on with the video now. So it feels like everybody really kind of knows who they want to win anyway. It's getting to the point in the game where I think people have made up their mind. They know who they want to win. There's not really much the celebrities can do to change their mind at this point. However, there are a few tricks up their sleeves still. And I think that this episode really highlighted the manipulation side of things a lot more than previous episodes did. But they started off with a lovely finalist breakfast. I feel like they always do this. On like the last day, they get like a cute little meal that's really nice. This time it was a breakfast. On like Big Brother, it's usually a dinner or something. But yeah, I liked it. It was cute. And then they went round and were like, oh, these were our first impressions of each other. Apparently Josh really hated Jeanette when she came in and thought she was quite shallow, but then when he got to know her, he was like, oh right, wow, I was really wrong about that. I thought that could have been quite detrimental to him, but it seems like she took it quite well, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. But then when it came to sort of the best bits side of things, they always show like the best bits and they're like, oh, here's your best bits, but they decided to manipulate the videos to really highlight what a journey Josh has been on. And I gotta say, they really actually did do a bloody fantastic job of it. I was a little bit surprised that it was so good, and it did. I don't know whether this was because I knew that this was the case, but it did really feel like they were pushing for Josh to win just through the best bits, which I know was the whole point of it. But like, I'm shocked that they didn't notice it, because Josh's was like double the length of everyone else's, and it was like, oh, it was actually quite cinematic. It really did tell a story, whereas the others were just kind of like, oh, here's your best bits. Do 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 do. Sophia's they were all right best bits. Josh's, like I said, they really smashed the editing on that. It really did look very good. Louis was a bit boring, but there were some good moments. Like, I completely forgot about the moment where he was saying to Miles, like, you're just here for the cameras, and I was like, I forgot about that. What an iconic moment. I cannot wait to start using that on people, because it's so funny. It is really funny. And then last but not least, Jeanette. Now, Jeanette's been my favourite from this series. Jeanette has continued to show that she is not only a great person, but just a wonderful friend, a great person to have around. And honestly, I'd want to be friends with her. She seems really cool, really funny. And if this was a case of Big Brother, where they're just living in a house together. I would want Jeanette to win. I think Jeanette, out of everyone, has proved themselves to be the kindest, the loveliest, etc., etc. Josh has done a very, very good job, but obviously this show is geared to make him that way. Whereas if it wasn't, I'm not sure that he would have shone as brightly as he did. But then again, I don't know. Maybe he would have. Maybe he would have come out of his shell. But I don't know. That's just how I feel about the situation. Jeanette was my winner, but obviously we want Josh to win because that's the only way that everyone can win. Do you know what I mean? There was a interesting conversation between Louis, Jeanette, and Josh in which they realised that every single day they have been one of the favourites. Louis was obviously one of the favourites on the first day. And then it was Jeanette, then it was Louis again, then it was Louis again, then it was Josh, then it was Jeanette, and then it was Josh again. I think I've done the maths right on that. Yes. I gotta say, am I surprised? No, not really. I think those three have been collectively the best, but also I think one of the main reasons, because a lot of the time it's only been by 2 votes, maybe 3. It's mostly down to the fact that they are a little trio and they're voting for each other. So I don't know whether that's necessarily indicative of the whole household, but I know Jeanette wiped the floor in one of them very early on. I think it was second day. And then Louis came very close to being in the bottom one of the days. I think it was day 4, but then obviously because of the alliance, he was the favourite that day. So I think there's definitely an element of gameplay and strategy to this game in order to make it to the end. I don't know. I would personally like to see I think this, I don't know. I think this kind of show lends itself well to like the American version of Big Brother, in which like you have the favourite, the least favourite, the favourite picks another least favourite, and then the house decides who goes. I think that could work as a concept on its own. I'm honestly not so fussed about this concept coming back with the celebrities manipulating things, but like I think there's something there with the whole favourite non-favourite thing. I think that's quite fun. That's a unique thing, I think. Whereas the whole manipulating it was fun for like a series, but I'm not sure how I feel about it moving forward. But we'll get onto that because Amber finally brought up the fact that Josh might not actually like the concept. She was like, has anyone actually thought about the fact that Josh might not like the fact that we've rigged this whole thing for him to win? I was like, yeah, this has been something that has been hotly debated on Twitter. It's also been debated in my comment sections, and I've seen your messages or your comments, and I've looked at them and I've gone, you have very, very valid points, because I'm assuming if you were in that situation and you found that out, you probably wouldn't be particularly happy. But you've got to look at it, and we'll explain it more later. You've got to look at it as this is a social experiment. You have signed up for a social experiment. This is the social experiment. Like I said, I'll explain more about that later, but you'll just have to wait a little bit longer. So, I'm not going to reveal any of the voting because the voting was kept secret from us until obviously the winner was announced, but 3rd and 4th place was announced. And I gotta say, I wasn't surprised. The people that I thought would be top 2 were top 2. Sophia and Louis were 3rd and 4th place. Effectively, they received 0 votes, and it became very, very telling who would win. I personally thought from that point. I was a little bit concerned, but like, it is what it is. Bringing Louis and Sophia out, bringing them in on the sitch was brilliant. They both looked kind of shocked and were like, right, okay, sure, I guess. But yeah, I thought they took it pretty well. They were kind of happy to learn the fact that if Josh won, then they won 10k. That was quite good. Although they kept on mentioning how like they're going to split it between all of you. You all get 10k each, but there's 11 people. So does that mean Darius and Aliki are going to be splitting the 10k between them? I'm assuming so, right? That would make sense because they were technically one player. So yeah, that would make sense. But it was very interesting. They brought everyone back in, and yeah, I've just realized we're now like we're only at like we're only about 11 minutes into this video, not even that, and I'm already at the end of the episode. Oh God, do you know what I mean by like there's just nothing to talk about? How are your guys' days? Like, I feel like I never actually ask you because I never have time to kill. Trying to make this episode a little bit longer. Usually I'm like, oh, I need to wrap this up. Oh, I'll cut that bit. I'll cut that bit. I feel like I'm having to vamp here. Oh God. Yeah. I mean, what else do I say? Because we're about to find out who won. Oh, I've already told you who won. Josh won. Yeah. So let's cut here, and then we're gonna go on to the next bit. Josh won. Yeah. They brought Jeanette out. Jeanette was quite happy to learn that it was geared to make Josh win, and then Josh was brought out, and then it was just kind of like, oh, are you happy? He was like, yeah, actually. And this is where I'm going to talk about why I think the concept of the show works, and I don't think he would have been offended. This whole thing is a big stereotype, okay? They've invited 9 people on the show that you would expect to see on Love Island or like Big Brother back in the day. They are reality show archetypes, okay? And then you get someone like Josh, who is not a reality star. He doesn't have the conventional looks. He doesn't have the conventional personality. He just isn't conventional. He is an outlier. He is the underdog. So going into the competition, the idea that this is a popularity contest and they're trying to make the person who, let's face it, would probably be the least popular at first, trying to get them to win makes a lot of sense. It's an interesting concept for the show, and I don't think he would be upset because, as they said, they did not manipulate any of the voting. The only thing they manipulated was who left at what time, because obviously everything else was controlled by the people in the house. So Josh was being voted the favourite because people saw him as their favourite, or for various strategic reasons. I don't think he would be upset. I think he would be upset if they were manipulating votes and that's what caused him to win. But the fact that he won on his own merit, they were just making it slightly easier for him to win along the way. I don't see that as a personal problem, and I also don't feel like he would get upset with that. And I saw he didn't, because he said that this is actually a great show because it gives the message of anybody can thrive in a reality show setting. You don't have to be popular. And then they were like, oh, you've changed what the meaning of popular means. And I was like, that's a good message, I think, because it really does subvert expectations. It's a really powerful message in the sense of it's unique in that respect. However, I don't want to see this show back. I think if it does come back, it needs to be more complicated, because when you got down to like 5 people, even 6 people, it was kind of boring. There wasn't a lot going on. There wasn't a lot going for the show at that point, which was a bit of a shame. But if it came back, I think looking at the people above, I don't mind if they come back. Ideally, I'd like new people. But the thing is, I do like Pete Wicks. I do like Vicky Patterson. I don't mind Amber, because she was actually quite funny and she did actually add up quite a lot. But I don't know. Nick? Is it Nick? I can't remember his name. I'm sure it's Nick. He just didn't do anything for me personally. It was like just having someone there that was like, oh, I forgot you were in the show, because he never really quipped. Yeah. So I think if the show is to come back, they really need to switch up the format, because obviously now that people have watched it, they're going to expect this to be some kind of thing. So I think they need to be honest and upfront with them straight away and be like, the celebrities are going to be manipulating one of you guys to win. Okay? They're just honest upfront. They're manipulating one of you to win. But you don't know who that person is. I think that's more interesting, personally. I don't think they can make it an underdog kind of thing anymore. I think it just has to be a case of, oh, I'm gonna vote for this person. I'm gonna vote for this person. I don't know. I don't even know if that would work, because then if I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is a one and done series. I don't really feel like there's any longevity, because obviously it's like I can't work out how they managed to get people on Too Hot to Handle by just lying to them. Like, obviously this is one big lie, whereas like Too Hot to Handle, they reveal the lie right at the beginning, and that's like the whole thing. Whereas like this is a lie throughout. So I don't understand how they're gonna make another series of this. I don't know if they even are. I'm going to stop waffling now, because you guys have probably had absolutely enough of that. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Now, we are on our way to 900. I never thought I'd say that, but we are on our way to 900. We are aiming to get there by the end of April. I don't know if we're going to do that. Okay, guys. So you've got to make sure you're putting in the time, you're putting in the effort. Come on. If you're not subscribed already and you're watching my videos, make sure you're subscribing. What you're doing, join the family. But yeah, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. That has been Josh Must Win. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.